Welcome guys. I'm away from home at the minute, so I'm making videos on phone, sending it out to you. So I wanted to talk about this open and closed vowel discrepancy or controversy, however you want to describe it. People have been saying to me a few times recently, well, Tristan's advocating for closed vowels and you're advocating for open vowels. Like, how does that work? You know, where somebody must be wrong. My argument is a bit more complicated than that, a bit more nuanced. Here's the thing, when you're learning, it's very helpful to close the mouth up because it takes a variable out of the equation. Yeah, if the mouth's closed, the sound only has one place to go, which is up into head voice, so you're less likely to isolate the mouth and yell. So closing the mouth, even if you're talking with, with closed vowels, singing with closed vowels, and keeping the mouth relatively closed, it will help you to stay balanced and in mix typically. Now, I've read Tristan advocate for the same thing, and also for him saying, as you improve, you want to open the mouth, but, and this is the way he words it, stay closed. So my interpretation of what he means by that is staying narrow, staying in the mix. Even as the mouth opens, you don't yell and drop out the mouth. That's the way I explain it anyway. Now, as you improve as a singer, you want to encourage and develop the ability to open the mouth more and more on certain vowels that it's required on. Ultimately, we just want to say the vowels. Yeah? Now, some vowels need a closed mouth. Some vowels like oo or e or I or n, anything like that, whatever it is, the mouth doesn't open much. Conversely, if I say the mouth will open a lot more. So we want to have the ability to make very clear and distinctive vowel shapes. Some vowels require a wide open mouth, some vowels require medium, some vowels require pretty closed up. As we get better, we want to have a very diverse vowel palette, is the way I would explain it. You won't hear any other coach talking about it in that way, but basically we're looking to develop a very wide vowel palette, so that where anything we do with this doesn't affect the basic foundation of the coordination in here. These two are separate. There's a line right through here that separates all of this, the articulation muscles and everything they're doing, from all of the other stuff in here, the darkness of the sound, the pitch, the level of compression, etc. So the answer's a bit more complicated. Yeah, you'd advocate for closed vowels for certain singers in certain situations at certain levels in their development. You'd encourage them more towards understanding how to open up and use open vowels whilst maintaining a mix without yelling. And it's just a question of where a singer's at. If you look at an Adele, for example, who's a very good example, she's got a very wide vowel palette, and when I say that, you go watch her videos. When she says words, her mouth is all over the place. She's like ooh, yeah, it's all over the place. However you want to make the sounds, but go watch her. Her mouth opens up crazy, but she's not yelling. She's in mix. So she's an example of the extreme, the furthest you can develop this concept and idea. And the rest of us, we are further down the spectrum, so to speak. And the the less, as you go further and further down the skill levels, you will get singers who, and I was one of these, and I'm still one of these to some extent. I'm trying to open up more and learn to sing with a wider vowel palette, but it's challenging. But I remember when I first started lessons, and I could kind of get into mix, and everything I sung was like with a closed mouth, so everything was really like kind of narrowed down and closed. And whilst this was correct, the basic technique was good, I didn't have enough isolation between the articulators and the basic coordination that was going on in the larynx. And so it all sounded kind of samey, yeah? With a broad vowel palette, we have a lot of different colours that we are emphasising, angling on, With wide and open, the sound can be bright and pharyngeal. With more closed, it can be rounded out. And so as we broaden our skills, we broaden the colour of sound that we can get out of our voice. Yeah, and that's really what we're looking for. We're looking for a very diverse range of sounds we can make with our voice. And with those open vowels and the ability to do them well, we can develop that more and more. Now, that being said, if we can't open the mouth, if whenever we open the mouth wide we yell, we have to close it down and go back to a better foundation and then gradually open it up more and more so that we can, get there, so to speak, and then open it up from the right spot. So if you're yelling, I wouldn't recommend wide open vowels. You've got to get back into your mix and start finding the boundaries and then working from the boundaries outwards again. So the answer to, why is it that Tristan's advocating closed vowels and I'm advocating open vowels is complicated. It's not just as simple as I'm saying one thing, he's saying another. Yeah, it's all about levels of skill. It's about where you're at as a singer. It's whether or not you've even got the ability to be in a mix, whether or not you're a chronic yeller. All these types of things are, need to be taken into account and considered when we're talking about what vowel to sing on. This is why we have coaches that advocate for modifying vowels constantly, because they're at a certain point where they have to, because their skill level isn't at the point where they're going to be able to develop a wide vowel palette yet, etc., etc. Anyway, those are my thoughts on narrow versus open, narrow versus wide, or closed versus open vowels, should I say. And we'll leave it at that, guys. I'll see you in another video. Bye.